Hey everybody, it's Simcoe Spring Service, and today I'm working on a Nissan Frontier, and it's got a broken spring. So if you have a broken spring, we actually have a repair kit that you can use to fix the third leaf down, which is pretty much the most common one that breaks on these things. If you have multiple leaves that are broken, you should probably just get a new spring pack. There's no point in repairing it if most of the spring's shattered. But there's a couple things I wanted to show you on this particular job. So whenever your leaf spring breaks, it can just break inside the spring pack and just kind of hang out and stay there. But sometimes, just sometimes, it'll come out, make a whole bunch of noise, rattle, and come apart, basically. Now, sometimes it'll fall out on the road, but if it has a spring clip on it, then it'll stay in the spring and just kind of swing around and do some damage. So I'll show you what kind of damage this one did. So there's your broken leaf spring. Seems like it's popped right out. It's the number 3 leaf, so it slid out and now it's sitting basically underneath the spring pack. But look where it's been rubbing. It's been rubbing on the shock. Pierced a hole right through it, leaked all the oil out. Sometimes they slide out and they'll rub up against your tire. You can see how it's lined right up. It all just depends on the vehicle. So yeah, it's wise to get it fixed as soon as you can. Take a look at your vehicle today. If you have a Chevy 1500, a Ford F-150, a Toyota Tundra, or a Nissan Frontier, we have repair kits for all of them. But today we're working on Nissan Frontier, so I'll show you the kit. So the kit's pretty simple. It just comes with a spring leaf, a center bolt, and a couple of fresh U-bolts. Now we always put fresh U-bolts on because it's the way it should be. So every kit's going to come with a fresh set of U-bolts, and then that way you know it's going to be good and tight and strong. There's a lot of corrosion in the salt belt, so if you live in a salty area, your U-bolts are going to be garbage anyway, so don't reuse them. But yeah, we'll get these shocks ripped out. Basically, it's pretty simple. We undo the bottom bolt, we undo the top bolt, we'll pull the shock out. Now on the driver's side, the tire's in the way, so you're going to have to be careful with it. I was able to sneak an air gun in there and remove the bolts and get the shock changed, but essentially you might have to drop the tire. So if you don't feel comfortable with that, I would highly recommend getting your shocks installed by a professional, and you can also get the leaf installed by a professional. But they are available online at simcoespring.com if you want to buy the kit. And we do ship worldwide. So yeah, here's the shock on the other side, and you can see where that bolt is up top there. It's on top of the spare tire. So feel pre-warned that you might have to deal with some consequences if you're trying to do your shocks at the same time. So we got the shock removed, and now we're gonna go work on the spring because that's what this video is all about. So we'll go and get the U-bolts chopped off and go from there. So as you can see here, the customer put a clamp on there. So I find metal clamps like this actually can cause other issues. Depending on how strong the clamp is, it can actually cause your main leaf to snap. It's very rare, but you know, just throw some duct tape on there. It works really well, ironically, because it's flexible and strong. You can see there's a lot of pressure on there, so I'm going to see if I can get some weight off of that. There we go. I had it jacked up already, so now I can jack it up more. There you go, kind of shove that leaf back in place. Ironically, this isn't terrible. Actually, the worst thing you can do is put zip ties on. They break really, really easily, especially when your suspension's flexing and twisting and stuff like that. So we'll get these U-bolts peeled off. So sometimes like that, the nut will start binding as it goes through the rust. So then I just tighten it back up and then loosen it, tighten it back up and loosen it, and that'll break the rust free. If you keep going, it'll jam. You'll never get it off. You'll have to cut it. So if you notice, I'm tightening it back up so it can hold it in place while I'm trying to break all these nuts free. And now they should just all fly off. Or else it'll be flopping around like this when you're trying to get the hard ones out. Got a top tip for you. There you go. And one thing I forgot about on these Nissans is this back clip here. So you can see it's like a standard spring clip, but it's got a tapered headed socket head cap screw-esque style flanged tapered bolt that goes through there, and it's threaded in on the other side. So technically this spring clip isn't necessary. You can cut the bolt. It'll have a rubber sleeve going over top of it. You'll take a knife and cut that sleeve off, cut the bolt out, and then you'll have to drill it. So we're going to save this customer some money, and we're going to take that clip off. So whenever I'm cutting, I'm always cutting against the leaf that's already broken, so then I don't damage the other leaves, because if you cut into them, they can be garbage. So I wouldn't cut the head of the rivet off. You can use a grinder to do the same thing. And if I did it correctly, it should just do that. And I'll take a grinder and I'm gonna flatten that back out again, so it's not sticking out. Or you can take a grinder, grind it flat, and take a punch and punch it out. Either way works. But yeah, let's get this jacked up, pop the center bolt, and pull the spring pack out. Watch your brake lines. There's not a lot of room on this one. This plastic pad fell out. We're going to put that back in. You put it between the main leaf and the leaf below. That'll prevent the main leaf from breaking. It insulates and creates a cushion in between the different types of materials. It also helps prevent rust buildup. Well, it controls where the rust builds up. When you get your kit, you're going to want to remove these. Usually they're tightened in, so you just remove them with a air gun or a ratchet. Grab your center bolt, stick it up through the stack. Throw that one away. Check the other leaves for any kind of cracks or anything. I like to wipe all the debris off of it. and now ready for install. So on these particular jobs, short end always goes to the front, long end always goes to the back. This one's going to be a bit of a trick to install because the center bolt's so long, so I'm going to shove up on the meat. There's not much room here. It'll be a bit of a fight. There we go. Immediately let it back down again. Yeah. The clip was caught at the front. So there you go. So now I can tighten this up. And then we'll have to cut the center bolt down because we've got to put this on there. Air gun won't fit, so I'm going to use an air ratchet or a ratchet. So we're going to install our little clip bolts. And you tighten those until they start squeezing on the compression tube. You can keep tightening them, but then that tube will split open and your clip will start rubbing harder and harder and harder on your other leaves, and it might cause the springs to squeak. Sometimes if there's not enough room in there, what I've had to do is take the bolt out, hit the clip open with a hammer to get a little bit more space in there, and drop like a little spacer, washer, something in there, something that you know that's not going to rub on the spring, and then retighten it. So we have longer, they're called crush tubes, the little tubes I put in there. We have longer ones, so sometimes we'll cut them a little bit longer, but there's a couple options for you in case they squeak. It's pretty rare, but it can happen. So the next most important thing is drop her down and get that center bolt lined up in the axle. And usually if I'm lucky, I can just pry it just like that. So now that the center bolt's cut down, you can fit the Ubolt plate on there quite nicely. So whenever you tighten your U-bolts, you always tighten them in an alternating pattern. I usually go from side to side and then side to side diagonally. And the trick usually is to make sure they're all have an even amount of threads sticking out below the nut. And I usually snug them up and then I'll run over and grab the torque wrench. So there you go, U-bolts are in. The only thing I do is grind that off and pop it out. There you go, there's your rivet. They're in there with quite a bit of force, so I just recommend grind it off flat. Just leave it in there. It's not gonna hurt anything. It's not gonna rub on anything, so that's what we normally do. I just wanted to show you it's possible. On the other side, we actually modified the clip. We took it apart, we drilled it, so I can show you that option as well. So there you go, you can see that we put our bolt in there with a crush tube. We actually replaced that side at some other time. I can't look it up because it's been too long. That leads to the point where do you do one side or do you do both sides at the same time? It depends on your budget, what you can afford. If you can afford to do both sides, do both sides. They're common for braking both sides. Usually the driver's side brakes first because you got the fuel tank on there and the driver on there. So that can be anywhere from 200 to 600 pounds depending how much fuel you have in there. And typically the driver will load the driver's side first, either on the box or in the back of the cab, before they're going to walk all the way around to the other side of the vehicle and load stuff into there. So usually everything's on the driver's side, the load, the fuel, the driver, everything. So it can add up to quite a bit of extra weight on that side, which means that side will usually prematurely break sooner than the other side. But there you go, there's a top tip for you. This whole video has been lit with my new lights here. So if you want to get them, I have them on my online store. I'll put a link in the description down below. I'm going to start listing some of the tools that I use on my website. And if you guys want to use the same tools I do, we've been using this light for like 8 to 10 months, something like that, and still glowing like super bright here. So there you go. You can check us all out at simcoespring.com. We ship worldwide and we have plenty in stock. So there you go. Have yourself a great day and I'll catch you next time.